here with Vincent Goodwill. We are going viral. Check this out, guys. 5-year-old hitting his friend with the sham god.
Oh, go get home!
Oh, we got to fight after that. We got to fight.
Watch it, watch it, watch it.
He clowned him.
I mean, I thought the best move was going to be this one here, but it's not.
Oh, behind the back?
And then the legitimate sham.
We fighting. I'm taking your PlayStation.
That was adorable.
That's awesome, man. More little kids on our highlights. I like those.
All right, back to the NBA. A little less than 10 games left in the season, and Giannis and Harden seem to be neck and neck in the MVP race. Giannis leading the Bucks to the NBA's best record, while Harden is having an all-time season scoring the basketball. Good news, they play tonight, Bucks and Rockets. All right, Vincent, who is your MVP?
Before you answer, do you have a vote?
Yes.
Okay.
I can't see why this is even a conversation.
Oh, you're gonna.
Here we go.
This is obvious.
Okay.
This is obvious.
All right.
You got the best, probably the second best offensive player in basketball, the best defensive player in basketball, playing on the best team. Since when does that not equal MVP?
So you're talking about Giannis Antetokounmpo?
Yes. Like, his team didn't start off like 4-13 or whatever, or 11-15, wherever Houston was. Like, Houston was on a hangover for the first damn near 2 months of the season. We can't forget that. And I think to some degree, and people are going to get a little upset at this, I think it's easier to score than ever now. So these 50-point games, we're like in a juiced basketball era.
But no one else is averaging even 29.
Okay, because who's controlling the ball as much as James Harden is?
Okay, but your point that it's easier to score than ever, then we'd have, if that was considerable, we would have a couple guys averaging 30. There's other people that control the ball not quite as much as Harden.
Because we're in a ball movement era, that's why. And because you can't touch anyone. Harden controls more possessions, more lengths of the game than anybody else.
If KD leaves Golden State, Steph gonna average 30 next year.
Easy.
But he's not gonna average 36. Here's the thing. You gave the only answer that I would take issue with. Because I don't think Giannis is the wrong answer. And I don't think Harden is the wrong answer. I think the only people getting this wrong are the people, with respect to my friend Vinny, who say it's not a debate. Of course it's a debate.
Of course it is. You're right.
It's the closest MVP conversation to me we have had in at least 20 years. It is now, you could maybe argue the second Steve Nash one was very close. I would argue it's the closest discussion we've had since Jordan's first year out of basketball. But here's where we're at. You have Giannis, who's giving you Young Shaq's stat line, 27-13 plus 6 assists, which Shaq never did. If we want to pare those down to 25, 10, and 5, here's the people who've done that. Kareem, Wilt, Oscar, Larry, Elgin, Charles Barkley, Russ, and Giannis this year. That's on, and the best team, and his defense is extraordinary. On the other side of the ledger, there's Harden, who's averaging 36.5 points per game. The full list of people who've ever averaged more points in a season than Harden this year. Michael Jordan, Elgin Baylor, Wilt Chamberlain. Remember when Harden dropped 50 on the Lakers? That was 47 games ago. Since then, 47-7 is his average. And the Rockets have the second best record in basketball in that stretch. So you can make, I get frustrated with my friends and family that are in Houston that act like, how could you vote for anyone else? No. There is a great case for Giannis, but there's a great case for Harden as well.
Both of you present, you representing Giannis, you representing Harden. But to me, the overwhelming thing that has dominated the NBA, and I know we had some outliers with Russ and some other players, you win 60 NBA games, you play the type of defense you play, you improve your offensive scoring where your scoring is getting 27 a game. Now, it's a landslide that guy is going to win. Now we have the outlier season of James Harden matched up with each other. We had this a number of years ago with Peyton Manning in the NFL, and two guys had historic type seasons. So to me, though, you have to go to the team. And the team and what Giannis and them are doing, that supersedes Harden. The numbers are amazing, but it is a team game. And the impact that he has had on the offensive and the defensive end, to me, that's the thing that gives Giannis the edge.
Is there a sympathetic vote?
Well, I don't think it's sympathetic because Giannis, if Giannis were 8 years older than he is, then maybe it'd be like, man, is he ever going to win one? But that's similar to the Drew Brees situation this year, which was helping him.
Right. If there was a sympathy vote, it would go to the older guy because he's been robbed of at least one MVP, even though he's the defending MVP. Like, he had to snatch that last year, but because it was like, you owed me one from a couple of the previous seasons.
I will say this. I talked to a very prominent NBA player who I won't name, but just think of the top 10 players of the game, basically. And he said to me, you guys decide the MVP before the season starts. And at that point, I had to start reevaluating how I was looking at it. And I said, okay, history is our guide. You got to win 50 games. Right, Russ is the only MVP in, let's say, modern NBA
Moses Malone.
Yes, to win 50 games. Houston is right on the cusp of that. They're going to win 50.
They're going to win 50.
They're going to win 50. Harden won it last year on a team that won 60 plus. The team has not performed as well. They were on a NBA Finals Game 7, could have made it, should have made it hangover. He's had to do all this extra credit. Giannis has been a straight A student all year. He doesn't have to put up 40, 50 points to be noticeable because he's the best defensive player in terms of win shares and box scores, all those advanced stats. And just looking at him, he can defend every position 1 through 5. Everything in Milwaukee revolves around him. Who's their second best player? Chris Middleton? All right, cool. But what does Chris Middleton as a second best player get you in Houston? Not to the best top seed in the conference. I don't care what conference you're playing in, as good as Chris Middleton is. Giannis is the thing that everything revolves around, and I think sometimes we're overthinking this.
Well, hold on. Okay, but on the overthinking angle, and again, I don't know. I don't have a vote. It's a crime I don't have a vote, but I don't have a vote.
I'll talk to the league about that. Don't worry about it.
Mannix won't talk to anybody for me. I haven't asked him for months to do it. If I had a vote, I wouldn't know who had it yet. To me, Giannis had taken the lead, and then I watched what Harden did Friday night. What Harden did Friday night in a huge game, because every game for them is huge because they're trying to stay at that 3 line. But the other argument for Harden is that there is not another player in the league who could do what he's doing. There is not another player in basketball. Now, that applies to Giannis as well. I get it. But the gap between his scoring and second most is the biggest gap of any year since the merger. There's never been a season since the merger where the gap between the scoring champ and whoever comes in second is greater than the gap this year. He is rewriting a record book to where it's him and Wilt on all these lists, and Wilt has his own record book. And so now Giannis's defense has to be accounted for. And Giannis might do the double dip.
How many MVPs did Wilt win?
Wilt won. He has 5. Yeah. Wilt has 4 or 5 because Bill Russell has 6.
10.
Jordan has 5. And Wilt has 4. Pardon me. Wilt has 4, same as LeBron. And Wilt could have had 10. But his team. But the Rockets are going to get to those 50 wins, which is critical on this. Like, they're going to get to those 50 wins. I just don't think it's determined yet. I think some people have already made up their mind. I think it could come down to the end of the year. Do the Bucks get to 60 wins? Like, they might not. They might rest down the stretch. Do the Rockets get to 52 wins? Like, it could come down to the
everything you guys are saying, that makes the game tonight real important.
All I'm saying is, let's not do the Karl Malone thing. Let's not overthink this. Karl Malone stole the MVP from Michael Jordan in '97, stole another one in '99 because we were tired of giving it to somebody. Giannis has been the guy from the beginning of the season. Sometimes we try to find a way to not make this what it is. Giannis and Zion. Simple. Let's not overthink this. Let's not relitigate this. Let's just make this.
You can't say that, though, because I said the last time I got an NBA source that called me and said, don't overthink it. Then you came out here, not a blind reveal. This was my source.
I was your source? Oh, man.
Goodness
gracious.
I'm trying to get you.
So convenient.
That's unbelievable.
Vincent, thanks so much for joining us today. Take a break. Coming up, former Steeler All-Pro defense Big Ben next on First Things First.
And Nick, how you like those academics?
Was your source?
When you mess up the first team,
but it is a case study on it. If you don't want to add flames to a fire, deprive it of oxygen. Just there's no noise surrounding his future. It's all about his present. But the other thing you said that I think is interesting is you basically said cross the Lakers off. That the Lakers are not a real possibility.
I don't think so. I don't think so, because I think you're going to have a hard time convincing him to go play with LeBron in that fishbowl. Not necessarily LeBron, not necessarily the Lakers, but the combination of both. You just said he likes being left. If he likes being left alone, the Lakers ain't the place for you. playing with LeBron ain't the place for you. And then the other thing, the one thing we do know from Kawhi is that he does not like being blamed for things that he doesn't have control over. His body and that injury.
That almost ruined his reputation.